What is up, YouTubers? Aldo SJ back with a brand new video for yous here, and if yous have watched part 1, yous have come back for part 2, so thank you very much for returning for the King of Kings bio story on Triple H part 2. This means a lot that yous have come back. So as we left 1990, as we were in the middle of 1996, sorry, I do apologise, Triple H was penciled in to win the King of the Ring. As we know, that instant MSG, that curtain call kind of put a dampener on things, and a certain Texas Rattlesnake was told that he was going to become the King of the Ring instead, hence the birth of Austin 316. That's another video for another time. Getting back to Triple H, so over the summer of 96, unfortunately for Triple H, he had to eat a load of pile of crap. He was losing matches, he wasn't on the pay-per-views for the next few months. I suppose don't pee off Vince McMahon, but in all honesty, it wasn't really the fact that they pissed off Vince McMahon. They pissed off the old-timers that were against the kayfabe getting broken. Vince McMahon did actually ask Triple H and Shawn Michaels if that meant a lot to them, what happened. They said yes, but the old-timers who were producers back then said to Vince, something's got to be done, and unfortunately Triple H took the brunt of it all. And instead of leaving, when taking the brunt of it all, he rode that brunt of it all to the start of the fall. In the fall / October of 96, he ended up getting rewarded for taking that fall. He unfortunately was not put in the recent tournament for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. That was won by the Wild Man Mark Merrill. But the night after the Buried Alive pay-per-view, he ended up winning it with the help of Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. He beat Mark Merrill for the Intercontinental Championship. So Triple H was starting to get his stock higher again. And over the next several months, he was a great heel Intercontinental Champion. He lost Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig for greener days in WCW. That was a thing back then, thanks to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And we get through November, December, and January. He defended his Intercontinental Championship against Goldust, aka Dustin Rhodes, at the 97 Royal Rumble. You thought things were riding high, that he was going to be eventually defending it at WrestleMania 13 in Chicago, but another up-and-comer was coming up on the card, and Triple H was asked to do the favors for one future major movie star, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, aka The Rock, aka Rocky Maivia. Unfortunately, Triple H lost the Intercontinental Championship to The Rock on a special Thursday Raw Thursday, and that kick-started the rivalry between Triple H and The Rock, which would go on to become one of the greatest rivalries in WWF WWE history. He spitted back and forth with Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust, during this time as well. It culminated to the February pay-per-view of 97, where a special person was brought on board. A special person was brought on board to help Triple H get heat. Those that don't know, giving somebody heat is basically if you're a heel and you have a counterpart to help you get that heat, so the fans boo you out of the building. China was brought on board. Now, it was pitched to Vince McMahon by both Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and through their help, they managed to get Chyna brought on the roster. Things happen, and Chyna was a full-fledged member of the locker room. And through the first set of few months, in fact, almost for an entire year, Chyna more or less did not really say anything. She was just there. She was a bodyguard for Triple H. Going forward, she helped him out in a lot of his matches. He was winning more. He was getting over more for heat. That's what they were looking for him. So much so, come the summer of '97, he ended up winning the King of the Ring that year with Chyna's help in a great match between him and Mankind, aka Mick Foley. Excuse me. And that kickstarted their rivalry, where over the next few months they were just trading back and forth with each other. A great match, a steel cage match at SummerSlam '97. During this time as well, Triple H his stock was building a lot more. Like I say, he did win the King of the Ring that year, but he refused to wear the gimmick stuff that was handed to him with that title. Unlike the likes of Owen Hart in '94, and King Mabel in '95, respectfully, who fully embraced all that, whereas Triple H was like, no, I'll just keep going how I am, which meant obviously his blue blood robes and everything like that. And like I say, going forward, his stock was getting bigger, and after SummerSlam, the friendship between him and Shawn Michaels actually started to bloom more, where they were on camera, starting to bloom more, where they were actually helping out each other with run-ins and establishing that they were a team. And this was the birth of D-Generation X. 1997, as we all know, the NWO was red hot in WCW. You had Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, the bad guy Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and several other NWO members really riding high on WCW Monday Nitro. And Shawn Michaels and Triple H had decided, you know what, we need to start our own thing. And that's when the birth of D-Generation X happened. So you had Shawn Michaels, you had Triple H, you had Chyna, and for a mouthpiece, which they really didn't need. I don't know why this happened, but they brought in Ravishing Rick Rude. Just sort of maybe like another bodyguard, which I felt was sort of misusing Rick Rude, because he could do a lot more than that, because he certainly had the gift of the gab. And over the space of the late summer going into the fall, you had Shawn Michaels, who was having kick-ass matches with The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell at WWF Bad Blood in October. It was definitely the starting point of what would be Hell in a Cell. And Triple H was almost just there. There was nothing. He was still having wrestling matches, but he was more involved in being back up to Shawn Michaels. He was almost playing second fiddle, which I felt was kind of wrong, because Triple H could do a lot more than that. Just really Shawn Michaels in the front seat, driving on whatever he was on, and Triple H was a sober one. Going forward into the Survivor Series in November and their own pay-per-view entitled D-Generation X, Triple H was getting into rivalries with the likes of the current commissioner at the time, Sergeant Slaughter. He was getting into other rivalries with Owen Hart over the next few months. During this time as well, though, he actually beat Shawn Michaels for the European Championship. Shawn Michaels had won the European Championship from Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, in September of '97, and as we all know, what happened with the Montreal Screwjob, which Triple H certainly put the sugar in that coffee. Go back and watch 97 if you want to know what I'm talking about. And so we know that Shawn Michaels was both the WWF champion and the European champion at the time. And they thought, well, wait a minute, Shawn Michaels having both belts, so they need to spread that out a little bit more. So they get in the couple of Christmas editions of Monday Night Raw, they had Triple H beat Shawn Michaels in a very gimmick way. It was a piss take to Commissioner Slaughter and the higher powers of the WWF. And then over the next few months, going into January of 98, February, and leading up to WrestleMania, unfortunately in January, Triple H was injured in his legs. This would be the start of many leg problems to come. I will get into that as we go along here. But he missed the Royal Rumble. He was able to compete in the February pay-per-view, No Way Out, which led to the WrestleMania match between him and Owen Hart for the European Championship. And as we all know, the night after WrestleMania 14, when Shawn Michaels took his ball and went home, Triple H reignited DX with the help of himself, Chyna. Sean Waltman had returned as X-Pac, and they joined forces with the New Age Outlaws. So D-Generation X was a 5-piece, and that just kick-started D-Generation X into one of the greatest eras ever. You know, I'll put my hand up. This is where I started to really become a Triple H guy. I just thought he was so cool at the time. And ever since then, I have been a huge Triple H fan, whether he's been a face or a heel. And yes, when he was a heel of a heel. He was excuse the pun, he was a beep. But at the same time, he was so awesome. I think that's kind of the reason why I do prefer heels a lot more now, because of him. So we have finished WrestleMania time in 98, and then going forward, going over the spring, going into the summer, D-Generation X started a rivalry with the Nation, that was led by The Rock. That started a series of matches between The Rock, more series of matches between The Rock and Triple H, where it culminated in the July pay-per-view Fully Loaded, where Triple H and The Rock had a great 2 out of 3 falls match. Please go and check that out on the network. It is well worth a watch. It ended in a draw, unfortunately, and moved forward to SummerSlam at Madison Square Garden in a kick-ass ladder match. Not the best ladder match, I have to say. It was more of a brawl than anything else, where the ladder was just getting used. Yes, the ladders are meant to get used as a weapon, but they just took it to another level, to the point where this caused more leg injuries for Triple H. And Triple H did regain the Intercontinental Championship that night at SummerSlam, but he paid the price where he had to go and get his legs I believe this one was his left leg. January had issues with his right leg. This time it was his left leg, and he had to vacate the Intercontinental Championship, so Triple H was out of the game. Excuse me, no pun intended. Going forward over the rest of the summer, going into the fall, he did not return until December. In fact, his full working match was in the UK pay-per-view Capital Carnage in December of 98. And then that started the ball rolling, where Triple H was fully on board again. He was no longer going after the Intercontinental Championship, though. He had his sights set on becoming the World Wrestling Federation champion. He was in a match with The Rock the night after the Royal Rumble in 1999. Then Chyna done the unthinkable where she turned her back on D-Generation X and Triple H. That led to a series of rivalry matches between Chyna and Hunter, or Chyna and a tag partner, and Triple H and X-Pac. It moved forward to WrestleMania, where Triple H done a bigger unthinkable of turning his back on the fans and turning his back on DX and joined the Vince McMahon-led corporation, which kind of didn't make sense to me. At the time, I felt Triple H could have done a lot more on his own. Whether it was on his own or with DX, I just felt there was a lot more in the tank to go with this, but he did want to go out on his own. He wanted to be better than what he was. He felt joining forces with Vince McMahon would have gave him that. Over the course of the spring and leading up to SummerSlam, he had another set of great matches with The Rock. This was a common thing. They were always trading matches back and forth with each other, just to see who was the best of the best. And he won a strap match in the July pay-per-view, Fully Loaded, where he eventually got to become the #1 contender for the WWF Championship at SummerSlam 99, where he was in a triple threat match, which I felt was wrong, against Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mick Foley. I feel that it should have just been one-on-one, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but apparently Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't want to put Triple H over. He felt that made him look weak at SummerSlam. He was more than happy to lose the belt to Mick Foley, and the following night Triple H would get it from Mick Foley, which I felt it would have meant more winning at SummerSlam. But anyway, these things happen. Excuse me, the night after SummerSlam 99, Triple H's long journey, starting off as being a young kid watching it with his father, his training with Killer Kowalski, the BS that he had to put up with in WCW, coming into the WWF in 95, and eventually becoming the World Wrestling Federation champion the night after SummerSlam of 99 on Monday Night Raw. And this was Triple H's first reign as a champion. He won it a salty way, but at the same time, at least he got it. He would become the WWF champion 3 times within that space of 99, from August of 99 all the way up to December of 99, where he was, he lost it to Vince McMahon. Please don't ask me how this happened and why this happened. It was Vince McMahon, it just did. He regained it in a 6-pack challenge match in the September pay-per-view. Then he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin in the No Mercy pay-per-view, going into the Survivor Series 99. He lost it in a triple threat match to the Big Show, who was just put in as a substitute because Stone Cold Steve Austin had to get taken off TV, and a triple threat match between Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin got changed to a triple threat match with the Big Show getting added to the mix. DX had become a full force again, minus Chyna, but this time it was a very heel D-Generation X. So you had Triple H, X-Pac, the Road Dogg, and Badass Billy Gunn. I don't know why Chyna didn't get added to the mix. She was off doing her own thing, becoming the first ever woman become the Intercontinental Champion. But I feel DX should have been made whole. I just feel that there was a lost opportunity there. And we all know what happened in December of 99. It culminated to a spark happening, or at least the start of a spark, where Triple H was in a rivalry with Vince McMahon, and it culminated to Triple H getting one over on Vince McMahon, where Stephanie McMahon turned her back on her father, and they were a storyline couple And over the next couple of years, it would set sparks flying, where they were in a relationship with each other, and it was so crazy how that whirlwind happened between the two of them. But it's life. So from going into January of the Royal 2000, sorry, January 2000, the Royal Rumble, I got there eventually. Triple H entered a rivalry again with Mick Foley, who was coming in as Cactus Jack at this time, and he just had great matches. A street fight at the Royal Rumble, a Hell in a Cell match at the No Way Out pay-per-view in February. It led to a not so great fatal four-way match at WrestleMania 16, where you had Triple H facing the Big Show, Mick Foley, and The Rock. McMahon in every corner. Don't ask what was going on there. I sometimes even wonder myself. Triple H did come out on top of that, which was cool. That was his, major win at WrestleMania. So that was cool for him, walking out the WWF champion. And then over the course of the summer, he traded matches again with The Rock over the championship. He entered a rivalry again with Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was coming back from his injury, and it led to many more kick-ass matches between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. But he was also in a rivalry with Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit over the course of the summer, which led to many great matches between everybody that I've just mentioned. They were so cool. Triple H, unfortunately, didn't become the champion again after losing the championship to The Rock at King of the Ring 2000. So during this time, Triple H had become, I want to say, maybe a five-time champion for the space of 2000. And then after the King of the Ring in June of 2000, he didn't become the WWF champion again for a long time. I will get to that as soon as I can. Hitting 2001, he is in the title picture again, but he is also on another rivalry as well. Now, that rivalry I will get to in part 3, so stay tuned. So stay safe, stay awesome, and good journey in life, guys.